I call this the law of mental equivalence. Your outer world is always, and I mean always, a perfect reflection of your inner world. If your life feels chaotic, check your thoughts. If money feels scarce, examine your beliefs about worthiness. If relationships feel difficult, look at how you talk to yourself. Now, before you start panicking, thinking you've somehow thought your way into every problem you've ever had, let me clarify. You're not being punished by the universe, and you didn't consciously choose struggle. But here's the empowering part. If your thoughts and words have been creating your current reality, that means you have the power to change everything starting right now. Think of your mind like the world's most sophisticated GPS system. Every thought is you punching in a destination. If you keep programming in, I never have enough money, good things don't happen to people like me, or I'm just not lucky, well, that GPS is going to dutifully take you exactly where you've directed it to go. The universe doesn't judge your destinations as good or bad. It just delivers what you've ordered with remarkable precision. So here's how we start reprogramming that internal GPS of yours. First, you need to catch yourself in the act of limitation thinking. For the next week, I want you to become a detective of your own thoughts. Every time you catch yourself saying or thinking something that reinforces scarcity, whether it's, I can't afford that, that's not for people like me, or I never get the good opportunities, I want you to literally stop and say out loud, cancel that order, then immediately replace it with something that reflects the abundance you want to experience. This isn't about fake it till you make it positive thinking. This is about understanding that your words carry creative power, and you get to choose what you're creating. Instead of, I can't afford that, try, I'm choosing to invest my money differently right now. Instead of, I never get good opportunities, try, I'm always in the right place, at the right time, for my highest good. Feel the difference? One keeps you stuck in victim mode. The other puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. Second step, start blessing your current situation instead of cursing it. I know, this sounds completely backwards when you want things to change. But here's the thing, what you resist persists, and what you bless multiplies. If you're constantly fighting against your current circumstances, you're actually energetically tethering yourself to them. When you can genuinely appreciate what you have right now, you create space for more good to flow in. This doesn't mean you have to love being broke or pretend everything is perfect. It means recognizing that your current situation has been your teacher, showing you exactly what you don't want, so you can get crystal clear about what you do want. Bless the lesson, appreciate the clarity, and then confidently move toward what you desire. Third, and this is where the magic really happens, you need to start speaking about your life as if the abundance you want is already on its way. The universe responds to certainty, not desperation. Instead of begging and pleading for things to change, start making statements of fact about your incoming good. Money comes to me easily and frequently. I attract wonderful opportunities. Everything I need is provided at the perfect time. Say these things with the same confidence you'd use to say your own name. Now, here's something crucial. You've got to back up these new thoughts and words with actions that align with abundance. If you want to feel wealthy, start treating money with respect instead of fear. Organize your bills, balance your accounts, and stop talking about money like it's your enemy. If you want meaningful relationships, start being the kind of person you'd want to be around. If you want opportunities, start preparing yourself to recognize and receive them when they appear. The fourth step is probably going to sound a little woo-woo, but stay with me because it works. You need to start practicing gratitude in advance. Thank the universe for the abundance that's already on its way to you. Thank it for the perfect job, the ideal relationship, the financial freedom that's heading in your direction. This isn't about being delusional. It's about understanding that gratitude is the fastest way to shift your vibration from scarcity to abundance. When you're grateful in advance, you're essentially telling the universe, I know you've got my back, and I'm ready to receive. It's like sending out a cosmic welcome mat for all the good things that want to find you. Here's what I want you to do right after this video ends. I want you to write down 3 things you're grateful for right now, and then 3 things you're grateful for in advance. Maybe you're grateful for having a roof over your head right now, and grateful in advance for the beautiful home that's coming to you. Maybe you're grateful for the job that pays your bills right now, and grateful in advance for the career that will fulfill your soul and your bank account. Then, pick just one limitation thought pattern you caught yourself thinking today, and practice the cancellation and replacement technique. Don't try to overhaul your entire mindset overnight. That's a recipe for overwhelm. Just focus on one pattern at a time, be consistent with it, and watch how quickly your external world starts to shift. Remember, abundance isn't about having everything you want immediately. It's about knowing with absolute certainty that you're worthy of good things, capable of creating positive change, and always being guided toward your highest good. It's about understanding that there's more than enough for everyone, including you. The power to command your life into abundance has been within you all along. You just needed someone to remind you how to use it. You're not here by accident, watching this video by coincidence, or dreaming of more by mistake. You're here because it's time for your abundance story to begin. So go ahead, beautiful soul. Cancel that old order of limitation and place a new one for abundance. The universe is waiting to deliver exactly what you command, and honey, you're about to get very, very good at commanding the good stuff. If this resonated with you, drop a comment and let me know which step you're going to try first. And if you want more tools for commanding your abundant life, make sure to subscribe, because we're just getting started on this beautiful journey together. Your abundant life is not only possible, it's inevitable when you know how to work with these universal principles. Now go out there and command that abundance like the powerful creator you were born to be. And I'm not blaming you for that, because that's what we've been taught. We've been taught that resources are limited, that there's not enough to go around, that if someone else wins, somehow you lose. But that's not how the universe works. The universe is infinitely abundant. There are billions of stars in our galaxy alone, and there are billions of galaxies in the universe. Does that sound like scarcity to you? Does that sound like a universe that operates on the principle of lack? The $80,000 that's waiting for you isn't just a random number. It represents a specific energetic threshold. It represents the exact amount of abundance that will shift your current reality into a new dimension of possibility. Think about what $80,000 would mean for you right now. Really think about it. Would it clear your debts? Would it give you the freedom to start that business you've been dreaming about? Would it allow you to take care of your family in ways you've always wanted to? Would it give you the breathing room to finally pursue your passion instead of just surviving? The universe knows exactly what you need. It's been listening to every prayer you've whispered in the dark. It's been feeling every tear you've cried when you thought no one was watching. It's been present in every moment when you've looked at your bank account and felt that knot in your stomach. And it's been preparing this abundance for you because you are worthy of it. Not because of what you've done or what you've achieved, but simply because you exist. But here's where most people miss the point. Claiming this abundance isn't about sitting back and waiting for a check to appear in your mailbox. It's about aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance. It's about shifting from a receiver mode of scarcity to a receiver mode of prosperity. And that shift happens in your mind first, then in your heart, and then in your actions. Right now, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. I want you to feel into the reality where you already have this $80,000. Don't just think about it. Feel it. What does your body feel like when you're not carrying the weight of financial stress? What does your breath feel like when you're not anxious about next month's rent or your credit card bills? What does it feel like to look at your bank account and see abundance instead of lack? Really let yourself feel that, because feeling is the language of the universe. When you feel something deeply, you're sending out a powerful signal that says, I'm ready to receive this. You see, the universe doesn't respond to your words. It doesn't respond to your wishes or your hopes. It responds to your vibration. And your vibration is determined by what you consistently think and feel. If you wake up every morning feeling poor, thinking poor, acting from a place of lack, then that's the signal you're sending out. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, will reflect that back to you. But when you start to feel abundant, when you start to think from a place of prosperity, when you start to act as if the wealth is already yours, everything shifts. This isn't about pretending or being delusional. This is about recognizing a deeper truth. You are not separate from the universe. You are an expression of it. The same intelligence that grows flowers from seeds and turns acorns into oak trees is the same intelligence that's flowing through you right now. And that intelligence is abundant by nature. Look at nature. Does a tree produce just enough leaves? Does the ocean contain just enough water? No. Nature is extravagant. Nature is excessive. Nature is abundant. And you are nature. The $80,000 is a symbol. It's a representation of the abundance that's your birthright. But to claim it, you have to let go of the stories you've been telling yourself about why you can't have it. You have to release the belief that you're not smart enough, not worthy enough, not lucky enough. You have to stop waiting for permission from the world to prosper. You have to stop making excuses for why abundance works for other people but somehow couldn't work for you. I want you to understand something crucial. Every single person who has abundance in their life started exactly where you are right now. They had doubts. They had fears. They had moments where they wanted to give up. But they made a decision. They decided to trust the process. They decided to align with abundance instead of arguing for their limitations. And the universe responded because that's what the universe does. It matches your energy. So, what does claiming this abundance look like in practical terms? It starts with gratitude. Right now, in this moment, what can you be grateful for? Maybe it's the device you're using to read this. Maybe it's the roof over your head. Maybe it's the air in your lungs. Gratitude is the fastest way to shift your frequency from lack to abundance. Because when you're grateful, you're acknowledging what you already have. And when you acknowledge what you have, you're telling the universe you're ready for more. Next, you start acting as if. This doesn't mean going out and spending money you don't have. It means carrying yourself differently. It means making decisions from a place of abundance rather than fear. When you're faced with a choice, ask yourself, what would I do if I already had the $80,000? Would I be more generous? Would I invest in myself? Would I take that calculated risk? Start making those choices now. Not tomorrow. Not when the money arrives. Now. And then you need to create space. You can't receive new abundance if every corner of your life is cluttered with old energy. Look at your physical space. Is it cluttered? Clean it out. Look at your schedule. Are you filling every moment with busy work that doesn't move you forward? Create space. Look at your relationships. Are you surrounded by people who drain your energy and reinforce your limiting beliefs? Create boundaries. The universe can't deliver your abundance if there's no space for it to land. You also need to take inspired action. This is where people get confused. They think that claiming abundance means just visualizing and affirming and waiting. But the universe works through you, not for you. When you align with the frequency of abundance, you'll start getting ideas. You'll start seeing opportunities. You'll start feeling pulled in certain directions. That's the universe speaking to you. And your job is to act on those impulses. Send that email. Make that phone call. Start that project. Apply for that position. The universe meets you halfway, but you have to take the first step. Here's something powerful. The number 80,000 isn't just significant because of what it represents financially. In numerology, 8 is the number of infinity, of cycles, of manifestation. It's the number that represents the continuous flow of energy between the spiritual and material realms. 0 is the number of potential, of the void from which all creation emerges. When you put them together multiple times, you're looking at infinite potential, ready to manifest into your material reality. The universe doesn't do anything by accident. This number chose you just as much as you're choosing to claim it. But let me be real with you for a moment. The journey to claiming this abundance might not look the way you expect it to. It might not show up as a single lump sum dropping into your account tomorrow morning. It might come through a new job opportunity that pays significantly more. It might come through a business idea that takes off. It might come through an investment that multiplies. It might come through multiple streams that together total this amount. The how is not your concern. Your concern is being ready, being open, being aligned. And along the way, you're going to be tested. The universe will present you with situations that tempt you to fall back into scarcity thinking. You might have an unexpected expense come up, and that old voice in your head will say, "See, you knew this abundance thing was nonsense." But that's just a test. That's the universe checking to see if you really believe, if you really trust. When those moments come, and they will come, you double down on your faith. You say, "Thank you for this test because I know my abundance is still coming. I know the universe has my back. I know I am worthy of receiving." You need to become obsessed with the feeling of already having what you desire. Not obsessed in a desperate way, but obsessed in a way that's so natural you forget you're even doing it. When you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, spend 5 minutes feeling into the reality of your abundance. Feel the relief, feel the joy, feel the peace. Let it wash over you like warm sunlight. Do this consistently, and watch how your external reality begins to rearrange itself to match your internal state. The truth is, you've been claiming things your entire life. You've been claiming your current reality through your consistent thoughts and feelings. If you're living in lack right now, it's because you've been unconsciously claiming lack. But consciousness is the game changer. Now that you're aware of how this works, you can deliberately claim what you want instead of unconsciously claiming what you don't want. You have that power. You've always had it. You've just been using it in reverse. The $80,000 is already yours in the quantum field. Every possible version of your life already exists. There's a version where you're struggling financially. There's a version where you're comfortable. And there's a version where you're abundantly wealthy. The version you experience depends on which one you align with energetically. So right now, make the decision. Make the commitment. Say yes to the abundant version of yourself. Say yes to receiving what the universe has prepared for you. This moment right now is your turning point. This is where everything changes. Not because of some magic spell or secret formula, but because you're finally ready to receive what's been waiting for you all along. The universe has been patient. It's been holding this space for you. And now you're stepping into it. You're claiming your abundance. You're saying, "I'm ready. I'm worthy. I receive." And with those words, with that intention, with that feeling in your heart, the wheels are already in motion. Your $80,000 is on its way. Claim it. Own it. Live it. But your line was busy. So, it waits until the world quiets down. And then it whispers, "Are you ready to listen?" Now, don't panic. This doesn't mean you're about to have some ghostly encounter or a lightning bolt of enlightenment strike you. It simply means you're being called to awareness, to look within, to listen, and to realign. When your soul needs your attention, it doesn't always send a polite email. Sometimes it wakes you up at 3:33 a.m. But let's make this relatable. Think of your mind as your phone and your higher self as the universe trying to send you an update. If you ignore the notification all day because, let's be honest, you're busy surviving, then the system might try again when your phone isn't cluttered with alerts. That's the 3 a.m. moment. Your system rebooting, your soul updating, your spirit saying, "Hey, there's something you need to pay attention to." Here's the thing, most people wake up during those hours and immediately go into stress mode. They fight it. They toss and turn, frustrated. But what if instead of resisting it, you leaned into it? What if you treated it as an invitation? Because the moment you shift your perspective, everything changes. So let's unpack what this could mean for you and what you can do about it. Because, my friend, this isn't about superstition. This is about alignment. First, let's understand why it happens. From a biological standpoint, between 3 and 5 a.m., your body goes through natural energy transitions. It's the time your liver is most active, detoxifying your system. That means your body is literally cleaning up physically and energetically. So, if you wake up around that time feeling anxious or restless, your body might be signaling that something emotionally, mentally, or even spiritually is being processed. It's clearing old energy, old beliefs, or old fears, spiritually speaking. It's also a call to awareness. Think of it like the universe gently shaking your shoulder, saying, "You've been running too fast. Come back to center." Maybe there's a decision you've been avoiding, a dream you've been postponing, or an emotion you've been suppressing. The universe uses quiet hours because that's when you're most likely to hear the truth without distractions. If you've ever woken up at 3:30 a.m. with your mind replaying worries about money, relationships, or your purpose, that's not random. That's your energy trying to communicate. The question isn't, "Why can't I sleep?" It's, "What am I being asked to notice?" Now, here's where most people go wrong. They immediately jump into overthinking. They scroll through social media, open messages, or binge watch something to distract the discomfort. But the more you resist the message, the louder it gets. So instead of trying to escape that wake-up call, start treating it like a sacred meeting. Here's what you can do the next time it happens. Step 1. Don't panic. The moment you open your eyes and see it's 3 a.m., take a deep breath. Remind yourself that nothing's wrong. Say gently to yourself, "I am safe. I am being guided." That alone shifts your energy from fear to peace. Step 2. Stay still for a moment. Notice how you feel. Are you anxious, calm, heavy, emotional? Sometimes the energy of the day lingers in your body, and your spirit is trying to release it. Just observe. Don't judge it. Step 3. Ask the universe or your higher self a simple question. What are you trying to show me right now? Then listen. Not with your ears, but with your awareness. You might receive a thought, a feeling, or a sudden clarity about something that's been bothering you. Don't rush it. Just let it unfold. If nothing comes immediately, that's okay too. The fact that you're open to listening already tells the universe you're ready for guidance. Step 4. Journal. Keep a small notebook beside your bed. Write down anything that comes up the time, what you felt, what thoughts crossed your mind. Patterns will start to appear. Maybe you'll notice you always wake up around the same hour when you're overwhelmed, or when you're about to experience a breakthrough. The universe speaks in patterns. Step 5. Release. After journaling, if your mind still feels busy, whisper to yourself, "Whatever I no longer need, I release now." Picture yourself exhaling the worry out of your body. You don't have to hold it anymore. Sometimes that alone allows you to fall back asleep peacefully. But even if you don't, trust that something beautiful is realigning within you. Now let's talk about something funny, because if we can't laugh about our 3 a.m. awakenings, what can we do? Have you noticed how the thoughts that visit you at that hour are always the most dramatic? At 3:10 a.m., your brain suddenly remembers that awkward thing you said in 2014, or convinces you you're probably going to ruin your entire future because you didn't send one email. You start arguing with imaginary people in your head, winning debates that don't exist. Then by morning, you realize, wait, none of that mattered. That's your mind purging. It's trying to offload unnecessary clutter. So when you wake up mid-drama, don't take every thought seriously. Half of them are just energetic leftovers from the day. When you learn to laugh at it instead of feeding it, you reclaim your peace. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m. and your brain says, "Let's overthink everything," just smile and say, "No thanks, universe. I'm just here to listen." Now, here's a deeper layer to this. Many cultures believe that between 3 and 5 a.m., your intuition is most heightened. This means the ideas or inspirations you receive during that window are often pure, unfiltered truth. The world is quiet, your ego is half asleep, and your spirit is wide awake. Some of the most life-changing ideas are born during these hours. Artists, inventors, writers, and spiritual seekers have all reported receiving insights at this time. So, instead of cursing the sleeplessness, treat it like a cosmic brainstorming session. If you keep waking up around the same time, it might also be connected to specific energy centers in your body. For instance, waking up around 3 a.m. often links to emotional blockages in the heart or lungs, symbolically, grief or lack of self-expression. Around 4 a.m., it could indicate suppressed fear or resistance to change. The universe uses the language of timing to point you toward healing. But the beauty is, you don't have to figure it all out at once. Just being curious, just asking, what is this trying to teach me, begins the process. I want you to think about something powerful. Maybe the universe isn't trying to disturb your sleep, it's trying to awaken your awareness. Maybe it's saying, you've been living too much on autopilot. Let's reconnect. The difference between disturbance and awakening is your perspective. If you see 3 a.m. as a problem, it becomes 1. But if you see it as guidance, it transforms into peace. Here's a little secret. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. It uses nudges, synchronicities, patterns, and yes, even your sleep schedule to get your attention. The question is, are you willing to pause and listen? So, the next time you find yourself awake while everyone else is dreaming, remember this. You've been invited to a quiet conversation with the divine. You're not being punished, you're being awakened. And before we continue, I want you to take this to heart. Every spiritual awakening begins in stillness. Every major transformation starts in discomfort. So don't run from it. Don't scroll past it. Just breathe, listen, and trust that something in you is trying to rise. Because sometimes, when life gets too loud during the day, the universe waits for the night to speak. Now that you understand what those 3 a.m. wake-up calls could mean, let's go deeper into how to actually work with them, how to use that sacred window not just to listen, but to transform your life. Because if the universe is calling, there's a reason. You weren't just pulled from sleep for nothing. You're being invited to align your inner world with the reality you want to create. Let's be real for a second. Most people live their days reacting. They wake up, grab their phones, get flooded by notifications, rush through routines, and by the time they breathe, it's bedtime again. The soul doesn't get a chance to speak. The universe has to find a quiet pocket of time to reach you, and that's usually between 3 and 5 a.m. So instead of resenting that hour, think of it as your private meeting with the infinite. The world sleeps, but you are awake, and that's powerful. Here's a simple truth. Awareness always comes before change. You can't fix what you're unaware of. So, when you wake up at 3:15 a.m. and feel restless, see it as a spotlight on what needs attention. Maybe it's that job you've outgrown. Maybe it's the dream you keep postponing. Maybe it's forgiveness you owe yourself. The universe doesn't nag, it nudges. Repeated wake-ups mean repeated messages. Once you understand the message, the pattern often stops. So what can you actually do when it happens? Let's turn this from a spiritual mystery into a practical tool. First, practice conscious stillness. When you wake up, don't grab your phone. Don't jump out of bed. Place your hand over your heart and take 3 slow breaths. Say quietly, I am open to guidance. This single sentence changes everything. It tells your subconscious mind to switch from fear to receptivity. The moment you stop fighting the wake-up and start listening, you shift from anxiety to awareness. Second, use what I call the mirror mind method. It's simple. Imagine that whatever thought or emotion wakes you is simply reflecting something within you that wants to be healed. If you wake up anxious, it's not punishment, it's information. It's showing you where your energy is misaligned. You can ask, what belief or emotion am I carrying that no longer serves me? Just the act of asking begins the release. Third, bring light into the darkness, literally. If you can, light a small candle or use a soft lamp. The glow acts as a symbol. It reminds you that even in your darkest hour, light is present. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Don't force thoughts. Just breathe. Sometimes silence does more healing than 1,000 affirmations. But if you want to go deeper, here's something truly transformative. Use those hours to reprogram your subconscious. Between 3 and 5 a.m., your brain is in a state similar to deep meditation, that half-awake, half-dreaming zone where your subconscious mind is wide open. This is prime time to plant new beliefs. Instead of scrolling through worries, start repeating powerful affirmations. Say things like, I am safe and supported by the universe. Everything that happens is guiding me to my highest good. I trust my path, even when I don't see it clearly. I am ready for divine ideas to flow through me. Don't underestimate the power of these words. Spoken with belief, they imprint your subconscious. Your words are energy, and energy always finds a way to manifest. The more you repeat truth, the less space fear has to live. Now, let's talk about another interesting side of this. Sometimes the universe wakes you because it knows that's the only time you'll be still enough to receive a download, a creative idea, a solution, an inspiration. You might suddenly get an idea for a business, a line for a book, or clarity about a problem. Write it down. Don't overthink it. Often, those quiet insights are the universe's blueprint for your next step. I once heard someone say, "The universe whispers before it roars." That means, if you ignore the gentle 3 a.m. whispers long enough, life might send you louder lessons during the day, stress, setbacks, or sudden change. So, these small wake-up calls are actually the kindest form of guidance. They're the universe saying, "Let's fix this before it becomes chaos." Now, here's something I want you to remember and maybe laugh about too. Sometimes you wake up at 3 a.m., not because the universe is speaking, but because you drank too much water before bed. Yes, practicality matters too. So before declaring yourself spiritually chosen, make sure your body isn't just doing its job. Balance the mystical with the logical. That's how you stay grounded. Still, if you find it happening repeatedly, it's worth paying attention. You might even find that those hours start feeling peaceful once you embrace them. Because when you stop resisting, you start receiving. Let me give you a little experiment. For the next 7 nights, if you wake up during that 3-5 a.m. window, instead of tossing and turning, do this. Take a deep breath and say, "I am awake with purpose." Ask, "What emotion am I holding on to that I can let go of tonight?" Listen. You'll feel something, maybe a thought, a memory, or even nothing at all. But trust that awareness is working. Say, "I release what no longer serves me." Whisper a gratitude. "Thank you, universe, for guiding me." Then close your eyes and imagine yourself wrapped in calm light. You'll be surprised how often you fall back asleep effortlessly after that. Now, let's add a sprinkle of humor. You ever notice how the universe never picks 8 a.m. when you're well rested, coffee in hand, and ready to listen? No, it picks 3 a.m. when your hair looks like a bird's nest and you're trying to remember your own name. But that's the beauty of it. Spiritual lessons rarely arrive when it's convenient. They arrive when they're needed. There's something very humbling about realizing you are part of a vast, intelligent design. You are not alone. The same force that moves the stars in the sky is aware of you, and sometimes it wakes you at 3 a.m. to remind you of that. You matter. Your energy matters. Your alignment matters. You see, when you start honoring those wake-up moments, life outside of them begins to change too. You become more aware during the day. You start catching yourself before reacting negatively. You feel calmer, more grounded, more intuitive. Why? Because you're training your spirit to listen, not just to noise, but to truth. Here's something beautiful. Once you learn to listen to the universe at night, you'll start hearing it everywhere, in music, in random conversations, in synchronicities, in numbers, even in delays and detours. Because when you're aligned, the whole world becomes a messenger. I want you to think of this message not as some mystical bedtime story, but as a wake-up invitation, literally. The universe doesn't just want you to survive your days. It wants you to live them consciously, with power and peace. That's why it taps you gently in the dark. So, the next time you wake up between 3 and 5 a.m., don't sigh in frustration. Smile, whisper, "I'm listening." Because the more you listen, the more the universe speaks. Let's recap what we've learned, not as a list, but as a rhythm you can carry with you. When you wake up in the dark, remember nothing's wrong. You are simply being invited. When your mind races, don't chase the thoughts. Breathe. Let them pass. When you feel heavy, don't resist it. Ask what it's trying to teach you. When you receive insight, write it down. That's divine instruction in disguise. When you fall back asleep, trust that something within you has shifted. And when morning comes, carry that stillness into your day. Treat your life like the conversation never ended. You see, we're all looking for signs that the universe is listening. But often, the real question is, are we listening to the universe? It speaks through timing, through emotion, through silence, and yes, even through sleepless nights. I know some nights feel lonely, but maybe that's when you're closest to your truth, when the distractions fade, and all that's left is you, your breath, and the vast quiet around you. That's where real awakening begins. That's where you realize you were never disconnected. You just forgot how to tune in. So here's your invitation. Tonight, if you wake up again, don't reach for your phone. Reach for awareness. Let your first thought be gratitude. Say, "Thank you for waking me up in every sense of the word." You might find that what once felt like disturbance becomes a doorway. What once felt like sleeplessness becomes connection. And what once felt like chaos becomes clarity. Because the truth is, the universe is always talking. You've just learned how to listen. And before you go, I want to challenge you tonight. If that moment comes, if you open your eyes at 3, 3:33, or 4:44, don't groan. Smile. Breathe. Say one affirmation out loud. That's your first act of conscious creation. That's you showing the universe you're ready to co-create your reality. And when you do, I promise the magic begins to unfold in ways you can't yet imagine. Now, if this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, because someone else out there is probably staring at their ceiling at 3:22 a.m., wondering what's wrong with them, when really, something very right is trying to happen. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you've ever had that experience, and if you're ready to start listening to those quiet messages from the universe. And of course, subscribe if you want more reminders of how powerful and guided you truly are. Because remember, those 3 a.m. moments aren't interruptions, they're invitations. And the universe? It's waiting for your response.